The Outer Banks Visitors Bureau is proud to support the Market Minutes podcast. Through our work with the Outer Banks Long Range Tourism Management Plan, and as part of the Outer Banks Promise, our pledge to inspire more responsible visitation and better stewardship, one of the promises we encourage community members to make is to support local. Small acts have big impacts. By supporting local artisans and makers that you'll see throughout the markets in the summertime and on this podcast, you're helping to preserve the creativity and spirit that makes this place so special. Make your promise today at obxpromise.com, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to another episode of the Market Minutes podcast presented by the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau. Joined now by Amy Hill from local OBX, Local Buzz. Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
How's everything going?
Really good.
I hear you have a new website, but it's not really a website. It's more of a community.
I do.
Let's talk about this
I
because
do.
we'll start with this and then
Okay.
we're going to backtrack to all the stuff that you've done.
Okay.
And this is kind
That's
of
a
like
lot.
a
We have some
culmination
time.
of a lot of that stuff, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
cool. All right, so tell us about local OBX.
All right. So, local OBX is a culmination of all of my backgrounds and all of my experiences, and it was built as a community to help small businesses have a place to be found, to be seen, to connect with locals, with each other, and with visitors.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing because you've done a lot of cool things. So this isn't just a social media group. This goes way beyond that.
Right. Yeah.
So talk about kind of your story and the things you've done in the Outer Banks. And let's start at the beginning, when you started living here.
Yeah. Well, right before I started living here, I spent 20 years doing corporate marketing.
Okay.
Advertising and marketing, buying and placing advertising and social media when social media was brand new. So I did all that for a company that only used 3 colors. And it was a little bit, I needed more color in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved down here. I decided to open a storefront. And so I opened an art shop. And now all the art was on consignment. So I got all the color I could ever imagine in one place. And I loved it. I started with 15 artists that trusted me with their work. And within 2 years, I had grown to 75 and
Wow.
was, please no more, please no more. But I built a really cool space right on the beach. Loved every second of it. COVID hit, and I was only 2 years young in the business. So I got a little nervous and I decided how can I keep doing this, but without the rent. So I bought a bus and I converted the bus. It took 3.5 weeks of 18-hour days, and we converted the whole bus, and on my birthday launched it as a mobile art gallery in Kitty Hawk, and that was a great time. So I built that bus up and ran it. We did markets and concerts, drove it up to Virginia a couple times. That was a little nerve-wracking, but worth it. And in between there, I had the Outer Banks box. So sourced local goods from my artisans and created a subscription box for local businesses to be featured in and sent to visitors who love. And
Yeah, the OBX box was pretty cool. It was pretty popular. People
was.
were digging on that.
It was. And it's still alive and growing
Okay.
today.
Oh, good.
So the fun thing about all of my projects, other than the storefront, are still going. The bus is still running. I was just at a market with it yesterday. I sold it to a local artist named Buffy, the Ginger Gypsy, who she set up with me from day one almost, maybe 2 weeks into starting the bus. She found me and came up, started setting up with me. And when it came time for me to move on, she said, I can't see anybody else with it. So she took it over, she revamped it, made it even prettier, and is still running it today. The Outer Banks box went to one of the other market people, Suzanne, and Suzanne is the Crafty Duck, I think, is her business name. She did a lot of embroidery and I believe crochet. And then when I went to sell the box, she said, I'd like to do that. And she's doing a great job with it.
That's great.
She's taken it on and given it a new life. So yeah, all of my crazy ideas, they keep going.
How do you know when it's time to stop a project? Is it because you want to start a new project, or is something telling you this?
It's usually a focus thing. Yeah, it's not that the project's not going anywhere. It's that I have a new focus now, and I've just kind of built on each thing. And I mean, with local OBX, actually, I bought that URL in 2017 when I started Muse.
Oh, wow.
Because in my previous job, what I was doing was not personally building a website, but I was directing the build of a website and working with a company that was doing that. And I had this thought. They had built a community website for a Northern Virginia community. And it was for like a town, like for the town to use. And I had a thought that, you know, the Outer Banks could use something like this, but more business focused, more like a merchants association. We don't have a merchants association. We have a tourism bureau, which does a fantastic job getting people in to the Outer Banks, getting the Outer Banks found by visitors. And we've got a Chamber of Commerce, does a great job helping businesses network, but we don't have a merchants association, somebody that actually actively drives business and small, you know, support local mission.
So what are you hoping local OBX grows into? What's your vision for this?
I would love to have everybody on board, everybody as a member and working together. And I don't mean just the little shops and the little cute restaurants. I mean, I'm talking plumbers and yoga instructors and photographers and bloggers and podcast guys. You know, anybody that reaches out and needs to connect with local businesses, locals and visitors alike. You know, I'd like it to be a one-stop shop to find anything that's local.
I mean, and the name's perfect then,
Yeah.
because obviously we're a huge tourist destination,
Right?
And there's a lot out there for visitors. But to your point, like a one-stop place to just connect with everybody on the Outer Banks. You just moved here.
Right.
You have a business that you're bringing with you from another town that's super cool, or you just want to meet people, or you just want to know what's here.
Right. You need a plumber. You just moved here. You don't know where to you don't know where to find a chiropractor. I mean, you've got Google, and you can use Google reviews. But a lot of people go on Facebook, right? And you'll see like, oh, I need this, and then you get 30 comments, and only the people who, you know, the businesses. You'll see the businesses on there. At least I do, because I know who the owners are. And I see them on there promoting their businesses, you know, and I'm on there saying, local OBX, it's a great resource, because if we can build a place outside of Facebook and outside of their algorithms for everyone to be found, then you're not subjected to some Silicon Valley guy saying whether you're worthy to be found or not, you know. You can be found.
And it's more a place just for us.
For our community. So,
and you're not just finding the plumber, you're not just finding the electrician or the bread maker or whatever. It's probably more of an opportunity to make a relationship with your neighbors as well.
Right.
Because we're not in a big city here.
Yeah.
So
we're a small town for sure.
Yeah,
we're a small town.
It's
but
cool.
But it's, you know, we are in a small town, and word gets around, right? But like even with events, that's why I built the events. I have an events calendar on there that is all inclusive. You do not have to pay to be on it. It's for everyone to use. And the reason being, because all of our other event calendars were either, you know, you had to be a paid member, or they just cover the big events. You know, they just cover, you know, well, the big events. We'll leave it at that. But I wanted a calendar that had everybody's events on it. If you're having a sidewalk sale, if you're doing this, if you're doing that, you know, because I hear constantly, oh, I didn't even know this was happening. How? We have 30,000 people. That's not a lot. It shouldn't be hard to get the message out, you know. So I think it's because our messages are so scattered across so many different places.
Right.
And I'm building something that can house it all, and you know, a resource for everybody. And for, like I said, for locals and visitors alike, not just a tourist drag, not just a locals only thing. We can all coexist, I promise.
That's right. We all like the same place.
Yeah,
the locals are living here for a reason. The visitors are visiting for probably the same reasons. Yeah.
Exactly.
So how would you have felt to have had this resource when you started your brick and mortar, when you were doing the OBX box, when you were doing the buzz?
It would have been so helpful, you know, it just to find, a sign maker, right? You don't even know, you start a business and you're like, where do you get a sign? Or you buy a rental house, where do I get a sign made? I see people ask all the time.
You have a lot on the site, and it will probably take a long time to go through everything, but like broadly, just 50,000 foot view, what can you find when you go to local OBX?
So the first thing you find is the events calendar right there on the homepage. There's 2 buttons, events calendar and explore local businesses. And so that's the main focus is, get people to our events, get those events filled up, find the local businesses while you're at these events, and then also filter through and find out more about each of those local businesses in their business profiles. And our members' profiles are very robust. They've got all the information in there, how to reach them, websites, social media, big bio, photos, that kind of thing. And then we do some blogging too, and we do a lot of our we do spotlight blogs on our members, and those have done very, very well. Alex's did wonderfully. It took off. So
Alex, who runs the Soundside Market, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we did a spotlight, not just on Soundside Market, because everybody kind of learning. Everybody knows what Soundside is. A lot of people know, but not everybody knows who started it and where the idea came from. So those are the stories we're telling in our local OBX blog, which has been a lot of fun. That was my favorite thing to do in the store, in Muse Originals with the store, when people came in, was tell the artist stories, because I had 75 artists and I knew every single one of them. And I know, I had one artist who did woodworking, and he cut the wood and routed the wood, and then the wife painted it, and she was an ex-nurse. And, so I always told all their stories to all the customers. So I'm doing the same thing with local OBX and our members, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. And I go back to just it being more than just a resource, but more of a connection thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, if I airbrush and I move to the Outer Banks and I want to find the airbrush community, I can find them on local OBX.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find your people.
That's super cool. Tell me about Local Buzz.
So the Local Buzz, meanwhile, I had the bus. So backtrack to 2020, I had the bus. 2021, I bought a food trailer. I ran that for a couple of years, sold the food trailer. It's living down in Hatteras as a totally different business, totally different chef. He's doing a fantastic job down in Teach's Lair. So still living on. And when I sold that, I still really loved the business of food in a trailer, but I didn't want to do food. So I bought myself a coffee trailer. And so I was running the bus and the Muse Buzz together at the same time. I sold the bus, continued on with the Muse Buzz. And then when I launched localobx.com, I realized I couldn't keep spending my time doing 2 different things. I can do 2 things for a minute, and then I've got to focus on the one. So my background from previous years was actually a lot of guerrilla marketing. And so I have a little different take on marketing and advertising than a lot of people do. And I'm kind of out there in the community making it happen. So I thought, why don't I turn the Muse Buzz into the Local Buzz? And I bought a different trailer, because I just like to buy and sell trailers, apparently. But this one's perfect, and I'm not getting rid of it. It's 10-foot Saro Scotti 1965 vintage trailer, pink and white, very cute.
Nice.
And it's wrapped with local OBX logos, the website, QR codes, all the things. So we go out to the markets, Soundside Market, to the shows over at Roanoke Island Festival Park. We'll be at all those shows, and then different area events. We were at Dare Day yesterday. And we sell our coffee and our drinks out of it, and we also spread the message of find what's local, pass out our brochures and stickers, and use it as a marketing vehicle to get the word out for the new local OBX.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
So where are all the places that you want people to find you online, or do you just want them to go to the website?
I mean, definitely go to the website, but we're also on, so the Buzz is on TikTok.
Okay.
But it's me on TikTok, so it's as exciting as that can be. I don't know. It seems to be doing all right. We'll see. We'll see if
I'm
I
sure
can
it's
learn
an
a new
awesome
platform.
TikTok.
On the talk, I call it. And then we're also on Facebook and Instagram. So, if you're on there, give us a follow so you can find out where we are. I drop a new events. We're doing a 10-day events forecast every Thursday. we're dropping an events forecast for the area. So it's
that's awesome.
it's a spotlight blog of, our members' events, and then also just kind of bigger area events and things to do, and little things that you might not find on your own, and pointing all to the calendar, of course, which has all of the events that are on there. So we do that every Thursday on all of the social media channels, and then our spotlight blogs we push out there. So it's a fun place to follow us and keep up with us until local OBX is big enough that you don't need Facebook anymore, because that's the plan.
That's cool. Well, I will
That
say,
would be a cool plan, right?
yeah.
It's a lofty goal.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for not having to be under rule changes and algorithm changes and platform changes. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Why did that work yesterday and it doesn't work today? And
Yeah.
why is she being seen and I'm not being seen?
Right. Plus, as you know, with the rise of social media going back to 2008 when Facebook started, you can have multiple platforms that you're on, and they can all have room in your brain, and you have your favorite ones for certain things.
Right.
So this could be another one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I've also, so in the same grain of local OBX, I launched Book Local OBX. As I was building localobx.com, I thought, what I'm trying to do here is put all of the businesses and artisans and just hustlers and, well, not hustlers, you know what I mean.
Entrepreneurs?
Side hustlers.
Side hustlers. There you go.
Entrepreneurs into one spot and be found and be found by locals and visitors alike. And it would be cool if I didn't have to, henpeck on social media to find it. And how cool would it be to put the short-term rentals in a similar situation? So it's open for all short-term rentals, property managers, Airbnbs, VRBOs, direct booking, all of the things. It's not meant to be a booking site or take anything from property managers. It's just a platform that I built to house short-term rentals on it, so they can be searched in one place.
It makes sense.
Instead of all over the place.
Yeah, it's what happens down here.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. You see people looking for a house, and they're in Facebook groups looking for this and that, and they have to search, all the different realty pages or Airbnb and VRBO, which Airbnb and VRBO, are adding all these crazy fees, making your vacation like twice as expensive as it should be.
Yeah.
Because of their fees. So anyway, that's just another side project that I started, kind of morphed from local OBX. So we'll see where that one goes too.
So you're also doing an Outer Banks town guide, right?
I am.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the Outer Banks town guide, it's the print arm of localobx.com. Like I said, I didn't just create a website. I created a community and kind of like a big marketing ecosystem for everyone in that community. So a lot of our businesses are in the town guide. We've got 45 in there, first print run. So I'm really excited about that. And it's shopping and restaurants, but it's also, stay and play and explore section. So I've also got like a massage therapist that ebb and flow, who goes and travels to your beach house and does that. And I've got Sweet Aloha. She's one of our jewelry artists, actually, that sets up at Soundside Markets. She also does jewelry parties in home, so she's in here to be found. And so they're at all the video. They're all at the visitor centers and grocery stores, and our member businesses, and just places up and down the beach, from all the way from Corolla to Hatteras. So just helping everybody find what's local. And the plan is pretty cool. I've got a trifold, and I want to keep going and fold it out as we get more businesses. And then it all draws back to the website. So you can go back to the website and find out even more about them than just their little blurb.
Just another way to get the word out.
Another way to get the word out. So I pass these out also at all the markets, and the Local Buzz always has these available.
You're a very lazy person, so you also have Shop OBX.
I am lazy.
Tell me about that.
I am lazy. I couldn't leave a corner untouched. So not only can you be found and can our members be found, I also, because of the background with the artisans, I think with the idea of shoplocalobx.com was born. And it's a marketplace, and it's meant to be a very simple marketplace, kind of like Facebook Marketplace, where you can put our businesses and artisans can put their items up for sale. Also services and gigs and things like that can be offered on shoplocalobx.com. So it all ties together. It's all linked from local OBX to each of these different properties that you can expand your love and support of everything local OBX.
I love this whole vision.
Thank
It's
you.
just it's such a cool way to connect everything.
Thank you.
Because there's a lot down here that needs to be connected.
There is. I really think that there's so many cool sporadic things, you know, just it's not connected. And I'm trying to push it all together in one place. And so, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships kind of idea. And if we all work together collectively, everyone can prosper and be found.
Amy Hill, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you at the Soundside Market.
Thank you.